Hello, my name is Lex van Delden and I'm one of the members of the scientific staff at Leiden Academy on Vitality and Aging. I have a background in physiotherapy, cognitive neuroscience and human movement sciences. In light of healthy aging, I will talk about how our behavior is strongly dependent on the physical and social context that we live in, and that although we may think that we make conscious choices throughout the day, most of our daily behavior is driven by implicit, unconscious decisions. Roughly, there are two systems in our brain that drive our judgment and choice: the fast system and the slow system. The international bestseller, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, is probably the best book to read in detail how these two systems operate and how our lives depend on them. In brief, the first system operates automatically with no sense of voluntary control and little or no cognitive effort. Most importantly, this fast system is heavily context dependent. On the other hand, the relatively slow system is context-free and relates to abstract thinking. This system requires more cognitive resources and involves explicit, conscious reasoning, mostly taking place in the prefrontal cortex of our brain. Let's have a look at some examples. When we wish to move house, we consider many different elements that we deem important, such as how many rooms are in the house, are the neighbors nice people, and how far is the house from work, etc. Or when we need to decide where to send our children to school, we may think, is the school environment safe? Is it a public or private school? And what are the graduation and dropout rates of the school? These are all questions taking into account when such important decisions have to be made. And decisions like these require a lot of cognitive effort and time. In fact, there's no need to be within the context of the potential new house or school. One can have abstract considerations at another location, far away from the new house or school. The processes involved in these kinds of decisions are typically slow system processes. However, decisions like these, how often do we have to make them? Most of the decisions we make are common daily decisions on how we move about or what we eat and drink. These are usually decisions made by the fast system. Now, as I said, the fast system is context dependent. To simply show what context does, we do a little experiment. Take a look at this symbol. What is it that you see? Is it the number 13 or the letter B? When provided with context, your brain automatically and instantly tells you what it is that you see. When given other numbers, your brain instantly decides that you see the number 13. However, when given other letters, you see the letter B. This shows how fast the system works. The context makes your brain automatically decide what you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. And from these decisions, your behavior is driven. It is now easy to understand why in certain circumstances, people automatically and without conscious reasoning decide not to walk or cycle, but use a car to get from one place to another. The environment, the physical context, drives our behavior. For example, placing vegetables at the beginning of a buffet makes people eat more vegetables than when these are placed at the very end, behind the fries and burgers. Another example, colored footsteps on the floor leading towards a flight of stairs can nudge people towards the stairs and away from the elevator. A specific nudge is priming. Priming occurs when a stimulus influences behavior at a later moment, without the person consciously knowing the effect of the stimulus. Priming is the basis for advertisement and is a typical fast system technique. But instead of priming the intake of alcohol or fast food, other things, such as healthy foods, can be primed as well. One example in the UK is the placement of signs reading "Let's shop healthier" outdoors and indoors a supermarket. And these simple signs have led to an astonishing 20% increase in the sale of fruit and vegetables at this supermarket. Affordances also address the fast system. An affordance is the implicit quality or property of an object that defines its possible uses or makes clear how it can or should be used. Think of a door handle or a light switch. Both invite us to manipulate the object by hand, although we have in our repertoire also the possibility to open a door with an elbow or hit the light switch with our nose when we are holding hot coffee mugs, for example. This also means we can make use of the qualities and properties of objects to invite or seduce people to act in a healthy way. Another example. By placing 20 swings near a bus stop in Montreal, Canada, people were invited to use the swings and enjoy themselves while waiting for the bus. The invitation didn't come from a person, but from the object itself. Considering affordances and all other things I have just discussed, I would like to close this part by asking you to consciously and explicitly consider the following. Why do we teach children from a very young age to sit for a large part of the day, and then wonder how it is possible that obesity and cardiovascular diseases pop up at a later age? At school, the place where children are supposed to learn about important things in life, we already encourage them to live a sedentary lifestyle by telling them to sit at their desks. Designers and scientists are now developing school environments that allow, and in fact invite children to be more active at school. And this comes with no cost of academic achievement. Rather, an active lifestyle seems to improve school performance. Now, go change your own environment for a healthier lifestyle.